What's up, YouTube? I don't know why that's not playing. What's going on? Yeah, there you go.
Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby. Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Sober Talk with Brothers Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby. Man, I hope everybody's having a beautiful week, a beautiful day. It's a great day to be alive, sober, and free. Free from the trap trailers, free from the jail cells, and free from dope sick and being a hungover. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so scoot in a little bit, brother. There we go. Now we can see your face. You too big to be trying to hide behind that little mic. Yeah, he's trying to hide behind the mic, you know. uh, yeah, it's a beautiful day, man. I know we got some cold weather upon us. I heard the iguanas are falling out of trees in Florida. Right? Cold fronts coming through, a little bit of snow coming through, supposedly. So yeah, lock up the puppies. You know what I mean? But today's show is being sponsored by Tied for Second Sober Living in New Freedom Family Center. If you want to go to treatment with your children and your pregnant woman or your woman with children and you want to change your life, you want to get sober, and you don't know how to do it because you got all these kids or a kid, um, contact New Freedom Family Center. And shout out to Tired for Second Sober Living. Beds are available. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Many Visions Apparel right here in Bismarck, North Dakota. You can order online or you can catch them through the holidays in the Kirkwood Mall. Many Vision is supporting sobriety, and the owner, I believe he has 4 months of not drinking. So I'm proud of you, brother. Thanks for all the love. Great things happening. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Resurrection Tattoo, where you get hooked up and not effed up. Also, J-Dobo, the leading spice in the land. He's at the Bismarck Event Center this weekend. I believe it's the Pride of Dakota uh, vendor show. But if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoning, baby. You know, shout out to the House of Fade, Treasures of the Sea and Earth. Shout out to the Ridge Treatment Center and inpatient, outpatient, and clinic and peer support in Fargo, North Dakota. Shout out to the F Fire Project. They have their big banquet, Legacy and Light, coming up Next weekend, shout out to Mike's Mission uh, Foundation. They're doing great things to fight the fentanyl epidemic. Much love to Maya's mission. Um, my prayers and heart go out in love to Ari's angel. Much love, Free. They had the memorial service for her son this week. And also, my heart goes out to my brother, Malachi Patson. He lost his son from a tragic situation. And much love to their family and prayers, and to Miss Vanessa Hammond. I love you, and praying for you and your family. But I got a special guest in the house tonight. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he made amends. As soon as he got here, he was making amends. Call them all up. I'm trying to, I was like, man, I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so my man Jalen, hey, straight from the Turtle Mountains, Belcourt, band of Chippewa, um, and he's representing in Endeavor,
Yeah.
sober living.
Yes, sir.
So how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm just blessed to be here today and just very grateful that I get the opportunity to come and share my story or,
Yeah,
whatever, some experience, strength, and hope.
I think I seen you in a movie once. You
I
know what I mean?
wish.
I was out in Arizona somewhere. Or something. Uh, so how have you been sober and clean, brother?
Ah, man, my sobriety date is 10/10, 2024. Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I got locked up a little bit before there, but you know how jail is, so I didn't count it until I got the treatment. You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah, man. It's been such a beautiful journey just to be sober, man, and just to actually have a life that I never thought that I was capable of having today. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
yeah.
Yep.
Came a long way from stealing hubcaps outside of Belcourt.
Absolutely.
Uh, so, grew up in Belcourt?
Yeah, I grew up in Belcourt. I kind of grew up a little all over, man. I mean, I kind of grew up around this area, but I'd always jump back and forth from everywhere, you
Oh,
know?
you was a choosy Susie.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of all over Grand Forks, Mandan, Bismarck, Belcourt. When I got older, that's when I kind of stuck there.
Yep.
Yep.
Um, any spiritual life growing up?
None.
Any traditional ways? Any church?
Nope, none.
Anything?
Nothing, man. Nothing. To be honest, for the longest time, I always had this chip on my shoulder about anything spiritual or higher than me.
Mm-hmm.
It was, from my eyes, as a young adult, I thought there was a punishing God, or a young kid, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had nothing.
Yeah. And so, how old were you when you first tried drugs and alcohol?
Gosh, I was about, I mean, I had a stepdad that had me cracking cans of beer at a very, very young age. But
Yeah.
when I started, I mean, I really got into drugs about 9 years old.
Yeah.
Started with pot. A few years later, it progressed to other stuff, the
Yeah.
opiate stuff, and from there it was off to the off to the guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, teenage years, did you go to school?
Yeah, I went to school.
Played
Hated
any hobbies? Any sports?
No, honestly, I mean, I had a little brief period of wrestling and stuff, but other than
I can
that,
see you in some spandex.
absolutely.
Yeah, with them little bitty hands. My name is
Absolutely, bro. No, I didn't. Man, it was kind of tough growing up. I spent more time worrying about why I didn't have love than
Yeah,
anything,
I love
you
you,
know?
brother.
Thank you, brother. I
You know?
appreciate it. Absolutely. It's so much easier to accept now that I got a little bit of time under myself.
Right.
Um, but yeah, my younger days, I just remember being miserable all the time. I grew up without a father, and my
Yeah.
mother was very absent at the time. She was dealing with her own stuff. So,
Welcome to the club.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Oh, I should have said I can relate.
Yeah, yep, yep, for sure. So, it was a lonely one out there. From a very young age, I just felt like I wasn't worth it, man, and didn't have any love.
Mhm.
To be honest, I hated the world, you
Mhm.
know, at a very young age, man, and it wasn't enjoyable.
Right.
You know,
Did you graduate?
No, I didn't graduate, but I did end up getting my GED. So I've been to 7 separate treatments. This was my seventh one, And my first treatment, I remember just to get out of there, it was on the reservation. Just to get out of there, I went and got my GED, and I actually ended up getting it. So
Hmm.
that was pretty cool. Other than that, yeah, I didn't really care for school too much.
And so, what happened when you stopped going to school?
Oh, man, I was just when I fully committed to the lifestyle and selling drugs, that was like my thing. I
Yeah.
committed to it and I just quit going.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember one of my good friends, he's like, "Man, you gotta go to school." He was preaching to me and I'm like, "Don't even worry about what I'm doing."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I just man, that lifestyle was so normalized from where I'm from.
Right.
I had no clue I was even doing wrong at some point.
Yeah.
I was just trying to escape, you
Right.
know?
Well, the one thing we got in common is we got a little French in us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yup.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I know all about the Church El Chateau, Turtle Del Mountain. You know what I mean?
Yup. Yup.
And so, how old are you now?
I'm 29, man. I'll be 30 next month.
Man, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I wish I was 29. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For real.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and so any kids?
No, no kids. No.
Okay. You ever did any traveling? Like,
Ah, I mean, the only time I really traveled was to go and get something. You know what I mean? I
right.
never really experienced. At a young age, though, I did live in Wyoming. It was Gillette, Wyoming, but we would go check out the mountains. So I always will remember
Yeah,
that
what you think
experience.
about those mountains?
I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, if I could live
I
there, I would.
well only like I've been in Montana, but like there was a part like in Beartooth Pass or something, or somewhere up there on the other side. You could, like go into Wyoming a little bit or
Yep,
something
yep,
like that.
yep.
So I can say I've been to the Y. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yep,
Uh, yeah, I mean, especially sober because it's like, man, you're so high up here, and it's just like, look at God's creation.
yep,
You know what I mean?
yep. That's one big thing, man. Like, I just remember, when I first getting sober, just how beautiful the sky was, even. And I never took the time to appreciate that when I was using.
Mm-hmm.
I never liked being out during the day, and I only like coming out at night. But it's
Yeah.
just them little things that I started seeing
Mm.
that really started getting my gratitude within me. You
Right.
know.
There's a lot of stuff you probably miss. Carpet surfing. You
No,
know?
I do not miss none of it.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
missed stuff because you was looking down here. Yeah.
absolutely, man. I was always everything in my life was always so transactional. I wasn't worried about what's going on over here. I was worried about what the person had in their pockets.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm. And so, when did you start getting in trouble?
Boo. To be honest, it took me a while to start getting in trouble. It really did. I mean, had a little disorderly, but it eventually led up to, me getting a manufacturing charge. So,
When
but
was that?
this was last year. Yeah, last year, August 31st last
Where
year.
at?
I was driving from Bismarck back to
With a lab in your car?
no, just too much, just way too much that yeah, I got stopped going from past Washburn a little bit. So
And what they found?
they found like 660 some blues and $12,000 cash
Huh?
and a scale outside of my car. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Too much to be riding around with the scale.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Have you ever overdosed?
Yeah, overdosed a few times, man.
Well, I'm glad you're still with us, brother.
Yeah, you know what's the craziest thing about like overdosing, man? I remember waking up and cursing God because I was alive.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And today it's just such a big difference,
Hmm.
because I couldn't picture my life, you know. I just never thought I'd be where I'm at today. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Are you like on probation? Are you waiting to go to
Yes.
court? Or
Uh,
what's
uh
happening?
all my stuff got all my stuff went through. I ended up getting probation. Um so I got a couple years, but I'm up for early release already.
Hmm.
So as long as I keep doing good and doing what I'm doing, man, the judge really gave me, I lucked out,
Hmm.
So that was such a big blessing there.
Somebody just commented. They said taco.
Yeah, this is a good one. That used to be my nickname, man.
Yeah, I had a few of those.
Yeah, and you know what I realized about it is, Taco was a mask to hide the little boy within inside me.
Hmm. But what
you
kind
know.
of taco were you though? You know what I mean? Was you
All beef, I
like
used to tell the
like
women, you know what I mean?
a gordita, a soft taco? You know what I mean? A shell taco?
Yeah,
Yeah, what you
yeah,
want a little fire sauce?
yeah, it was all fire, man. That's for sure. I was
Yeah,
burning everything down, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
You get pulled by the cops. They say, "Oh, you look a little sleepy." Yeah, I ate a bad taco.
yeah, absolutely.
And
Oh,
of your life that you can remember, or
man.
through your,
Okay, so
drinking and running.
I had a lot of them, man. And I'll tell you what, like there was, I was up in Mandan a few years ago, and
Mandan Warrior.
yeah, absolutely,
I had some dark times over there too.
yeah, and the
Drinking.
horseshoe they called it.
Yeah, how about the horseshoe?
Yep.
Yep.
And I was smoking so much drugs that it started to eat away my leg. With that fentanyl was laced with that xylazine stuff, and I got about one, two, three, four holes in my leg that looked like gunshots. And I almost, I was very close on the edge of losing my leg.
Mhm.
And I think, I had some rough times on the reservation. I'm not gonna lie, but here was like for me personally, like I always tried to go to treatment, right? And to be honest, my motive was because I thought they were watching, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, or whatever. But once it started to click a little bit here, more in there. I think like every time I relapsed, I had something to lose now, and that was hope.
Mhm.
So that's what really hurt. And one of the biggest ones was when I was down there, up in Mandan, and my leg was going,
Yeah.
and
Kind of hobbled to the 8 ball alley. You know
yep,
what I mean?
absolutely,
Back to the horseshoe.
yep. And I'm just, man, I'm begging my mom, like, hey, mom, can I come? Can I come to your house? Can I come to your house? Just because I just knew that if I wasn't gonna die, I was definitely gonna lose my leg. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And I think the darkest times came more in here than what they did out here. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's the vicious disease that we have.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
His leg is just disappearing. You know what I mean? He's like, is
Yep.
that the bone or is that a tendon? But
Yep.
he's still smoking.
Yep. Like nothing. You
You know
know?
what I mean?
Yep.
Tell me about them couple times you OD'd. How how did that go down? What was the day like?
Man, the day was like, I was searching. It was one of them days where I remember my very first one. I was searching. I was
Mhm.
looking for whatever. I end up I'm in mine out at the time. I end up at the Vegas, and I end up getting some they call it it's fentanyl, but the white powder.
Mhm.
And I remember be just so ready to get high because I was hurting all day,
Mhm.
and we're sitting outside the bowling alley, and I'm smoking. And I don't even remember what happened. Next thing I know, um, I didn't know I went down. It was just like my it just shut off everything.
Yeah, that taco
Yeah,
just fainted. You know what I mean?
literally,
Didn't throw all the meat and cheese.
absolutely. But I come to, man, and my one buddies, they're screaming in panic, and there's this one girl in the front seat, and she's trying to shoot me up with meth, to try to bring me back.
Mm-hmm.
You
In
know,
your leg?
no, right in my,
Oh.
just trying to shoot me up. But this time my leg wasn't that bad. I wasn't at that point yet. But yeah, and then the last time I overdosed was probably the one that hurt the most because after that was after I had that experience because there was a span where I went after that first one I just kept overdosing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd come to my buddy be Narcan me. I'd
Mm-hmm.
come to in my mom's house like 6 hours later. I don't know if I was dead or what, but I was just laying on the middle of the floor. And but yeah, that last one. So after that, I went to treatment at Trinity, and I ended up going to Hope's Landing in Dickinson.
They just mentioned that on there. They just commented. What's up, Ashley and Lucy? Yeah.
Hi guys.
Shout out to Hope's
Yeah,
Landing.
I owe you amends too. Yeah.
All the sober livings.
Yep.
I got it right now.
Yeah.
He's calling everybody today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got amends for all the sober livings.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
And yeah, shout out to Hope's Landing in Stark County, Dickinson. I have the privilege of going out there for the 5K sober run every year with them.
Oh wow.
That's some good people. Shout out to Lucy and her mom and Ashley and all the great people that are doing the thing out there.
Yep, yep, for sure, man.
So what happened over there?
So about 2 months in, I 2 or 3 months, but I ended up becoming a house manager. You
At
know?
Hope's Landing?
Yes, sir. I was the assistant house manager, and
What, you stole all the silverware?
no, no, no. I ended up I think it was around 8 months, 7, 8 months. I ended up going home for a vacation. I went to my mom's in Minot to go see her for Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
And before I even left, I already had a plan in my head to relapse.
Hmm. How long were you sober?
About 8 months.
Okay.
About 8 months I was sober, so I already had that, and I did as soon as I got there. And then right before I left, I stayed there for a couple days. I left and I went to a friend's house and ended up overdosing in his house.
Mhm.
And
Then what happened?
ambulance, man. The only thing I really remember was them saying he keeps going out, he keeps going out, and they kept hitting me with Narcan, and then I woke up in the hospital and everything hurt. Everything hurt, man.
That taco tipped over again.
Yeah, yeah, tipped over,
Now
man.
all the lettuce and tomatoes that fell out of it.
Yeah, and this is where I Lucy ended up letting me come back. I didn't have my manager position, but I ended up coming back.
Mm.
And I had that itch. The book talks about, the manifestation of the allergy. You know what I mean? By the way, I am a straight drug addict, but I do follow the Alcoholics Anonymous book.
Okay.
But
Good choice.
yeah, yep. And talks about that allergy. And once that allergy kicks in, it talks about a craving beyond mental control. And the whole time I maybe spent like 2, 3 weeks there after that, and I was just fiending out the whole time.
Little junkie.
Yep, little junkie.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I ended up taking two guys with me from the house. We ended up going to Bismarck. I ended up moving out.
So you went back
Yep,
after the overdose,
yep. I went back.
and then you left again
Yep. Then I left again. Yep, I left again, and I took people with me. And
from the house.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
You owe them a amends.
Absolutely. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I'm driving him to Dickinson tonight, everybody.
Absolutely. I definitely do, man. And here's the thing, they loved me when I couldn't love myself, and I didn't want to at the time.
Yeah.
Like that's why I give big thanks to Hope's Landing and Lucy and Ashley and all them people that were there when I was there. Dave.
Mhm.
Um yeah.
Branton Jones said, my,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
brother, Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
Mr. Jones. And so he says, "What's up?" Kevin Baker Jr. says, "What's up?"
Yeah. Yep. Kevin was there when I overdosed for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. And
What he did, ran,
no, he was one of the ones that were holding me, just trying to get me up and
trying
trying
to stuff all that taco meat back in the cheese and stuff.
to. Yep, absolutely, man. And yeah, but after I left, that's when I went to Bismarck myself, and that's when all that stuff started happening with my leg. I started hustling instantly, and
Yeah.
I was I mean, there was no. It was all just to get high,
Yeah.
and act like the man.
Yeah,
You
he
know
was
what I
over there
mean?
by Auntie House in the horse shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
was.
remember them days.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was miserable, man. It was miserable. I remember it's so easy to put on a mask in front of people, you know what I mean? And act like everything's okay, and then you're trying to make everybody happy, because
Mhm.
when I was hustling, it gave me that false sense of feeling wanted that I didn't have as a kid,
Mhm.
So I stuck with that. That's the only way I knew how to freaking get that feeling of
Mhm.
wanted, really.
Yeah, accept it.
Yeah, literally, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Tacos on his way. Everybody be cool.
Absolutely. And man, I have the moments of clarity just by myself, and I'm like, man, I hate this. You know,
Yeah.
I hate this. No matter how many smiles I put on my face, I was miserable through the whole thing.
Right.
And I'm looking at my leg and I'm just beating myself up like, how the F did I get here?
Yeah.
It was
That was the devil gnawing on you.
yep,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yep, absolutely.
And so uh how did you become 1 year sober?
Man, so I went to jail, and it's kind of funny. Um, so I went to jail and I was trying to get in Teen Challenge, because I knew they had a longer program. And I always remember, even in the past, I'd tell my mom, because my mom's been sober for a while. Shout out, mom. But I always remember telling her, like, man, if I could just get in something long term, I could probably do this. I
Mhm.
could probably get it. But no, they didn't want me to go to Teen Challenge because it was too long of a program. And I remember my attorney, he I called him after I went to my preliminary hearing or whatever, and he's like, "You gotta ask for Providence House, ask for Providence." And I'm like, "Okay." So I called my mother right after, and she's like, I'm like, "Mom, I think I'm gonna try to go to Providence House treatment." And mind you, I didn't want to go to treatment. I did not want to go to treatment because I've been to so many, and I never thought it was gonna work. But she's like, "Funny thing," she said, "I already got you accepted for the SUD voucher, and you're already you're supposed to call here on Monday."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow," you know. She had a backup plan, and I thank God used my mother that day just to get me in a place that I needed, you know.
That's amazing, brother.
Yeah.
One lady says, "Inspiring, you're doing so good. Glad to see you doing good. I remember the 5th days. You've grown so much."
Absolutely. Yep. The fifth generation. Wow.
Yeah. I remember the 5th day too of being up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got booby traps all over the city. Uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I got my own language and you got to decode it. You know?
absolutely, man.
Yeah. Uh, man, that was miserable.
Yeah.
You know? It's bad when you're trying to get high, but it's even worse when you're trying to come down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because, people like us, we like to overdo it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so you got into Providence House?
Yep. I got into Providence House.
Where at?
In Arnegard, North Dakota. It's about 12 miles away from Watford City.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in there, man, and probably I just remember. So little bit of backstory. I was at Seeds of Eden at one point.
Every sober living house
No,
that he has an amends for.
yeah.
How many sober living houses have you been to?
One, two,
I can count 4
four.
right now.
Yeah. About 4 or 5. Not 4 or 5. But I didn't actually like. I left on good terms with them. They helped me establish a higher power.
Uh-huh.
Because people in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous say this program's to help you establish a higher power and grow with them.
Right.
I've had that before.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just sitting in jail the day before I went. I said, "God, I know I do not want this, but if this is what you want for me, I'll do it."
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little gun shy at first, but here was my thought process. I told myself, I am going to talk about everything I didn't want to talk about in my previous ones,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's what I did. I talked about it, man, and it's a trauma-based treatment too. We got it, man, they dig in and it helps you see how these things have affected you your whole life. For me, you know what I'm saying? And once I did, man, I got the sense of freedom after digging in.
So if you had to take a random guess of how many fentanyl pills you smoked in your life, I mean, just give me a number.
I don't know, maybe I
100?
100,
Yeah.
1,000.
1,000?
Yeah, probably around there, maybe more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1,500?
probably more.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So 1,500 times you put your life on the chopping block.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Because
Absolutely.
any one of those times could have been that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that to me that means God ain't done with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's got a purpose for you and a plan for you.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because if you're still breathing,
Yep.
he's got a purpose for you.
Yep.
And and I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I
So
appreciate it.
you get there, are you Providence House or Endeavor Sober Living?
Providence. I was there. Providence is the inpatient part, and then we go down to a care right under, and then that's when you get into. So I was still doing day treatment from I think it's 8 to 3:30 some days. I was still doing that for like maybe 70 some days. I couldn't find a job right away, so I stayed in there longer, but I think that's exactly what God wanted for me.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, I was in there total with residential. I was in there total 100 days, and then we go down to intensive outpatient.
Mhm.
So that's 3 days a week, and then I started working. My first job over there was Jack and Jill. Yeah,
Mhm.
Jack and Jill.
How did you get through the withdrawals and stuff like that?
I'm gonna be honest, man. This is such a blessing because when I went to jail, man, it was I was doing a lot. Um, like you said, I should be dead. I mean, just even from that run, and
You was pinging that toilet up, bing, bing, bing.
couldn't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
Squirty McGurdy's.
I slept for like 3 days, used the bathroom, whatever. But after that, I don't know if it was like a mental click in me, which just said, I'm like, whatever, I'm in jail, I'm not
Mhm.
gonna hurt. And I never had crazy come downs. I think in jail, knowing that I'm not gonna be able to get any, it's like whatever. But if on the streets, I'm just like, it's that obsession. You know what I
Right.
mean? That obsession.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so, um, when did you go to Endeavor, Silver Little?
I went to Endeavor on 11/11, 2024. Yeah, I went to Endeavor and started
So
my
a year ago.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Larry.
Yeah, I love you, Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to an Endeavor, man, and I just started digging in on me. I started working on me. I realized a
So you
lot of
got a
things.
sponsor?
Yeah, I got a sponsor. His name's
You
Guy Johnson.
you've been through the steps?
Yes, sir. Yes, I sponsor guys as well. Yeah.
Okay. And tell the people out there listening what a sponsor is.
Man, a sponsor is a person to just be there for you, to guide you through these things of steps, which I like to call um the best way that I've been able to like really think about it is the steps teach me how to live
Mm-hmm.
and deal with me,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm the problem, drugs and alcohol were always my solution. And a
Right.
sponsor helps me get through them so I can learn how to deal with me. And he's there to love you when you don't love yourself. That's just my best version of it.
Okay. Um, and so um, how do you stay sober on a daily basis?
Oh man, prayer and meditation. I pray all the time, and you know what? One of the biggest things is the big book talks about that altruistic plane, and it's
Mm-hmm.
helping others. It's getting outside yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just being able to be of service to people, no matter what way, no matter for me, if it's even listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually am employed with Endeavor, so I got a service in a different way, but I get more filled from just being there with my fellows and helping them in any way I can than, doing the working. But I
Mm-hmm.
think I love my job, man. It's just it's being a part of something bigger than me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and service, man. Service has been such a big part of my life, and just genuinely caring about somebody else other than myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest ways I stay sober.
All right. Um, what is something you do now that you didn't do uh before when you wasn't sober?
What is something I do now?
Like like for you, you know what I mean? Like what's some things do you do some different things now? Like what do you do?
Oh man, I read, I journal. I'm very in touch with my spirituality. I mean, when it comes to things that I didn't do, I pray. My life has been a complete psychic change.
Mm-hmm.
I help people unconditionally. You know what
Right.
I mean? And this it's been a process figuring out my self-care. I mean, living where you work, it's a process. You know what I mean? But I'm
Right.
finding it. And just being able to be how would you put it, God-centered, and give Him in the power for everything. I'm able to be okay all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good, brother. I'm proud of you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Um, what's your vision? You got a vision for
Yes,
like a plan? Like what's happening?
yes, I got a vision, man. My vision, I think, is I want to help people on more than just the level that I'm at right now. My vision is eventually to get into school, college, and take the addiction counseling course up in Minot State. I really want to be able to just help people like my counselors were for me. You know,
Right.
and I was blessed with so many great counselors, and this time I was blessed again, and they really changed my life. you
Yeah.
know because like for me, I got more than a sponsor. I got my sponsor, I got a spiritual advisor, you know what I mean? And I kind of just jump between them two things. Because like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I found a higher power before I got to in back into the program, and I also found a spiritual advisor when I got there, and I think God
Mm.
put us together so I could learn how to grow through him, you know.
Mhm.
So that's one big thing.
Okay.
But I want to be an addiction counselor, so that's what he is too. So it's
Right.
pretty cool, you
Have you
know.
started school?
No, not yet. No, I plan on starting school. I'd like to go next fall. I mean, do some online. I got to do some generals and stuff, and
Mhm.
just really dial it in. I'm not gonna lie, I am so new to this thing called life, you know.
Right.
I just really got to figure it out, you know, and dial it in and just see where I'm at with it and what I can do to take steps forward for that.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank
You
you.
got any shout outs?
Yeah, man, I want to shout out Johnny Lane. He's the owner of Endeavor Sober Living in Providence Health. Thank you for just blessing me and blessing, you know, so many people. And I want to shout out Larry just because I love you, Pops. And you're always there for me, even when you got to give me a headache. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just teasing. But I want to shout out my sponsor, man. This guy was the first person that said he loved me. And he's the first man I've ever believed that actually loved me and cared for me. So I love you and thank you for changing my life in more ways than anybody ever has.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
If somebody out there is listening right now and they're struggling, they're in sober living, they're thinking about relapsing, they want to go to treatment, or they're stuck in a dark place uh, on the other side of the horseshoe,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
they doing drugs and their body's eating away. If you had any words of wisdom, what would you tell to them?
Um, just don't give up. There's hope. There's life more to the thought of life that you have today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and God loves you even though you can't see it.
Well, amen to that. Well, I got my man
Yeah.
KAYLEN K.
Yeah.
Well, 1 year in sobriety,
Thank you guys.
Endeavor Sober, straight from the Turtle Bell Mountains.
uh, absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming today. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Everybody that's watching, that loves you, is proud of you. And you know what amends you got to make.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think you know it too.
So, uh, he may be reaching out to you
Yeah,
soon to make some amends.
absolutely.
And I
sure
love
am.
you, brother. You're doing a great job.
Brother. Thank
Keep
you.
doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of Sober Talk with brothers Brandon the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. If you can't stay sober, catch your Uber. And I love you. In the words of my great grand sponsor, Jack Height, if nobody told you yet, we love you, baby.
Absolutely.
Eat some chicken grease.
Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend!